I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. He's already been told I need to get him on by Noel Mazzoni. Dave Marsh has also told me I need to get this man on. We have tried over and over again. I fell asleep on Monday because I'm a fatty and I had 1,000 cookies that my wife baked and I crashed. But luckily, Rhett just cussed me out a little bit on DMs on Twitter. I'm just kidding. He was like, "Hey, we can do this again." And Rhett, thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right. Well, coaches are in the building. What's up, DK? How you doing? Joe Tights. I don't know if you know this. You know this in chat. Joe Tiger. His name is Joe, and he named his dog Tiger way before that Netflix series. And now the Netflix series came, and he's like, "Why did I choose this screen name?"
Yeah,
Thank
that's
y'all for
funny.
being here. All right. What we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about power and counter. And that is something you do really well. It seems like every time I'm talking about that, someone is always tagging you in the Twitter mentions or in my DM. They're like, "Hey, you need to reach out to Rhett," and all of that stuff. So, first off, before we even get there, tell us a little bit about yourself in case people don't know who you are.
Um, I was the offensive coordinator at Lowerville High School for 10 years previously, before I came to Destrehan. Lowerville was about 350 students from ninth to 12th. And one of the reasons we started running gap schemes because I felt that it helped us be more competitive, using angle blocking, and because year in and year out, you never know what kind of lineman you're going to get, so numbers were always thin. So we just, we combined that with a little bit of inside zone, and that made up our run game. And like I said, I was the head coach the last year before I took the job at Destrehan, and now I coach running backs, and I'm the special teams coordinator. Um, and we run similar things to what we ran at Lorville, but we were more 11 personnel the last 2 years at Destrehan, and probably at Lorville we only had a tight end probably 3 of the 10 years that we ran the spread. And while we were at Lorville, we were affiliated with the end zone system. And while I do appreciate Noel's kind words and all you guys, in no way am I a guru. I learned how to run schemes just like everyone else, and we put the time in and practice, and we really believe in what we did. So, so that's what it became to be.
All right. Now, coaches, before we get into it, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I will ask Rhett those questions. Before you went gap scheme, were you always a gap scheme guy, or were you inside zone and then you just had to, because of the personnel, turn to
Uh,
gaps?
I was When I first started coaching in high school, at my alma mater. We ran a lot of counter, but we were pretty much an I formation team, and we ran a lot of power, ran a lot of counter, and things of that nature. And then when I moved on, I coached at Patterson High School, and that was really the first year that I coached in a spread system. And basically, when we built that offense, it was kind of like taking all kind of the I formation schemes and putting it into a spread set. We ran counter and things of that nature. And, we always ran inside zone as well. It's just, I always felt you needed both, because running inside zone, if you have those guys just penetrating and running up the field, that's going to disrupt your inside zone. So I felt gap schemes, we can get angles on them, and it would, give us an advantage.
Okay. And Brent, how you doing, sir? Brent says hello, good evening. Um, which one do you like more? Do you like power or do you like counter? Because I know
Well,
you run both.
we run power read,
Okay.
not true power out of the spread set. We started out when I first went to Lowellville, we were heavy with counter, and we ran counter read, quarterback counter, and it evolved into like a package of its own. We ran it off of, like I said, I was in the end zone before, and we tied it into our push motion, like you guys call it, for our common screens, and tied that look into running our quarterback counter. And then we ran a lot of speed sweep or jet sweep. So we started eventually towards the end of that tenure there, running power read and counter off of the speed sweep motion. and things like that. So it kind of just became a package of its own. And Power Read came into the picture when, there were a couple years where the people were starting to really squeeze our down block on the play side, and our guard was having trouble getting the kick out, or even having trouble logging it, depending on the technique on how the defensive end was going to play. So rather than banging our head against a brick wall, when the power read started becoming popular, we looked at it and put it in, and it really helped us out, not trying to fight the technique of the defensive end, squeezing off of the down block.
Okay, so the power read was the then to the counters if.
Right, yes.
Nice. Okay, and we have our first question. He wants to know, Coach wants to know, how do you know when to run counter? So what are you looking for as an offensive
like
coach?
I said, on the weekends when we're game planning, I'm looking how the defensive line's playing. If a defensive line is trying to play, they're reading the technique of our linemen, and they're trying to stay attached, then we'll be more, zone heavy, outside zone, or speed sweeping inside zone. But if we're just seeing some guys just, rearing back and blowing up the field, trying to get into the backfield, then we're going to be running more gap scheme.
Okay. All right. And now another question, Brent, great question. How do you adjust running your quarterback when you have a slower quarterback versus an athletic quarterback?
Well, that's the thing. when we're starting the season, when I was at the smaller school, we looked at our top 5 athletes on the team, and from there, we picked the guy that we felt that could probably throw the best ball. Like, we didn't throw it 50 or 60 times a game, like the air raid. We just needed a guy that could throw key screens, throw our intermediate, RPOs, like our pops and comets and stuff like that. And, take some vertical shots off of everything else that we ran. And, so when we decided on that kid, that was going to be our quarterback. So we will run first offense, and we were going to always put a guy that could run, and had to be mentally and physically tough.
So is it mentally? Is that your first attribute you're looking for in a quarterback? Then physically tough?
Yes.
Now, what do you mean by mentally tough? What's mentally tough mean to you?
When a guy's getting, he takes a couple hits, and he's not scared to continue, just, running the offense and just playing without fear, because I've talked to a lot of coaches before and about quarterback run game, and, some of them just kind of, want to just dip their toe in the water, just not really excel and say, look, we're going to use our quarterback, and you're going to have to defend our quarterback run game for an entire game rather than just running 2 or 3 plays a game, but just a guy that's he's going to get hit often, and we do tell him at like in between the tackles he's a running back. If he gets to the perimeter, don't try to be a hero. I mean, don't try to take unnecessary shots. If you're near the sideline, you're about to get hit, just get out of bounds. But between the tackles, he's a running back.
Okay.
But like I said, more like a quarterback, but and that's why we ran a lot of sprint out, because we always had an athletic quarterback, and that was kind of like our own version of RPO, because if the defense carried the routes, he would tuck it and run, and then get what he can get and get down or get out of bounds.
I like that. You're telling them. So what is get what you can get? Are you giving them like a certain yard mark, and then you can fall down?
Yeah. So like when we would run sprint out, if the defense carried the routes to where he could run for 5 yards, he's going to run for the 5 yards. Now, if it's 3rd and 10, we're going to try to stay in there and complete the football. But like if we're calling sprint out on 1st and 2nd down and he sees a 5-yard opening, he's going to get the 5 yards.
Okay.
Don't wait for a route to open up.
Okay. Now, first off, Coach Mack, how you doing? Welcome. You have something. You did some swing motions with the quarterback run game attached, right?
That's off of we got the comment screen stuff from the end zone system years ago. The 2-back. I know you guys call it push motion. The backside back going out for the swing screen. We've run that. That's a total different. Like, that's a package all in itself as well.
Do you have any diagrams or anything up on your computer right now? Or if you're not, you can
Um,
hit the share screen button at the bottom, that big green thing.
that's a different playlist. Let me grab it.
Yeah, if you got some, because I know coaches would love to see that.
Um,
Because when I saw it, I was like, holy crap, that's amazing.
yeah, okay, so let me see, it's in my host.
And coach is very efficient with Zoom. I think we all are now with the coronation. We've all been proficient. We should get credit with this for our certification on all the Zooms that we are doing during this lockdown.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. And coaches, while he's getting that up, first off, thank y'all for being here. If this is the first time visiting this channel, my name is Ron McKie. I do interviews with coaches like Rhett. I also play Madden, where I'm using real world examples and philosophies in Madden. I'm not hitting all the buttons and everything like that. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that follow button. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And take it away, big man.
Okay, so this is one of the things that we incorporated from the end zone. Obviously, this is off the inside zone, but this was the package all in itself that would set up our quarterback counter. Is we motion our backside run back out, and this is one of our RPOs. Pre-snap, he's looking to see if any of these safeties are rolling down or if we have backers bumping out of the box. If there's no movement, he's just going to pull up and throw that comment screen out here. If he does see any adjustment to that motion, post snap, he's going to be in read mode on that defensive end. And, so that was our base RPO swing screen. Let's see what I have here. All right, and then you could, okay, this is just a different front. You could tag anything you want, to the backside. It really doesn't matter. Or you can even have them stock block if you don't feel comfortable with a gift tag on the backside. Like when we put in the end zone initially, we had a freshman quarterback.
Okay.
So we tried to be as simple as possible. And, it kind of just carried on for 10 years. We just really never got really complicated with anything. Just an odd man front. If we have our tackle that's covered on and outside, he's gonna make a call where we go push the front. We're still reading the backside in. All right, so here's a play action off of our comment screen. We lock, just like if you lock a key screen, you throw in key screens and all of a sudden it drives up, you're gonna pump it and throw it downfield. So that's basically what this is. When we see safeties trying to come rob the pop, we're gonna lock it and read it inside out. And I'm getting to the quarterback counter. So here is our pop RPO off of the comment screen. So when we start seeing, the strong safety making it difficult for our slot to block, and he's running pre-snap and trying to tackle this comment screen, we're going to tag a pop route and just slip him inside and read this front side backer. We're going to lock the front side zone. Now, that pop route, it's a lazy route. You don't want to get him upfield too fast and allow the safety to get involved. So you see him getting involved, like I said, the diagram before, we'll lock that and throw it deep. So basically, that's what brought in the counter. So when we start seeing backers bumping or the safeties rolling down, and we want to continue with the run game, we call quarterback counter. And all the rules are the same. Our play side tackle is going to combo or B gap track to the backside backer. Our guard is taught he's going to combo either outside or nose guard to a backside backer. Our center is going to block on to combo backside backer. Backside guard is going to pull and kick or log based on the technique of the defensive end. Our backside tackle is going to pull and lead through or wrap depending on the block of the guard. So it's kind of like a domino effect. And then the running back getting the ball, or the quarterback in this instant, is going to always follow the tackle. So if the tackle's through, the quarterback will be through. If he wraps around, the quarterback will bounce around. So, that's just one version. We run it out of 2x2, 3x1, any, off of speed motion, any way we can. And we just feel that, the blocking scheme just gives us an advantage because of the angles that we get.
Yeah, that's nasty too. Because what
Yeah. And then
defensively, I'm
one,
looking at it thinking if you run inside zone, you're going to be or pin and pull or something. You're going to be attacking the right
yeah,
side.
yeah. We used to run our pop route off of pin and pull. We experimented with that for a year or two. It's just I didn't like the way we had to adjust versus different fronts. Like when we run counter, we don't care what you line up in. We're gonna run counter and apply our rules. I just felt that we had to, and maybe it was just me as a coach, but I didn't feel comfortable having to adjust so many blocks versus different fronts for a pin and pull with or without a tight end. And then, like I said, there were years where we didn't have a tight end, and I didn't like running pin and pull versus a four-man front without a tight end or an H back. For me, I just didn't feel comfortable with that.
All
But
right. So how difficult was it to run, or do you run counter to a one technique? To have that.
we like I know people that check it,
Uh huh.
and I never did. If we called counter to the left, we were running it, whether it was to a one or two or three.
And
You know,
why didn't you check that?
we didn't. I felt that we were good enough, and the kids. And one thing that we always did individual, like when we're going, like Tuesdays was all our Tuesdays was always our gap scheme day. So when we're going through gap schemes, if we're running counter to the left, I'll say like left tackle, what is your rule? And he can't tell me, oh, I got that guy. No, what is your rule? Don't tell me what guy you have. Just tell me your rule. And so we're going through all these rules, and I just felt that whatever a defense lined up in, those kids can apply the rule, and we never have any issues. Now, granted, sometimes it came down to Jimmys and Joes,
Yeah.
but I felt that if our Jimmys were equal to their Joes, it was our advantage because our kids could apply rules, and with the angles that we had, it gave us an advantage.
Now, did y'all go tempo? Did you go fast?
We were no huddle. We signaled in everything. Now we weren't running 80 plays a game. We just faster than average, I guess. But I mean, we weren't, you know, fast paced, no huddle.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that if you keep running counter over and over and over again, now that end is squeezing, you're going to hit up the power read, correct?
If we have trouble digging him out or logging him, so if the front side end, so in this instance, if this front side end is going to squeeze so hard, this guard is taught to log this. The tackle reads it, and then he wraps around, and he's going to end up catching the backer coming out, and then the back or the quarterback will then bounce behind the block of the tackle. So versus a log versus a squeeze technique, this is the adjustment in the counter scheme. Now, if our guard, like I said, on year-to-year basis, if our guard was having trouble logging this, then that's when we would go to the power read and just stop banging our head against a brick wall.
And in your book, what is trouble logging? What does that look like? Where you go, okay, now we got to call power.
Well, just like if this guy is not able to attack the play side shoulder and get his hips around, or just that defensive end is just a better player than that guard making that block, then we're just not going to block him at all. We're going to read him.
Okay, how often do you run power in a game or counter in a game?
I mean, we'll run it until they stop it. I mean, I was talking to some friends, that about a week or two ago, and talking about just the players we've had in the past, and the accomplishments that the kids had. And there was an article that I came across where our running back he broke the school record. He had 315 yards in a game, and the majority of those yards came off of the counterplay.
Wow.
We've had a 2,000-yard running back, the first 2,000-yard running back in school history, when I was there, and the majority of that came off the counter. So,
now, what do you think? Why is that such a successful play? Is it because you practice it and over again, your kids get it? Or
I think it's like anything. Like people that run the air raid, they run. You can't be good if you don't do the noose drill over and over and over. So when we run power and counter, we're practicing that, every day. Now there's an emphasis at the small school level. We had an inside zone day, which was Monday, and then on Tuesday was our gap scheme day. But in team, we included, everything. Just in individual, we practiced those certain schemes on that day.
And did that work? Like, okay, my question. Let me back it track a little bit. Since counter and power were your plays, why didn't you practice those on Monday and inside zone on Tuesday?
Because I feel that because we were split practice. We get 65 minutes of offense. Not now at the school I'm at now. We have the luxury of practicing offense the entire time. But at the small school level, we're 65 minutes of offense, special teams in the middle, then 65 minutes of defense. So I have to make sure that I'm working on certain techniques to make sure our kids excel in those each week. So on Mondays, I tie in, we're running inside zone, outside zone, and sprint out protection, because that's all zone steps. So we're working all zone steps and individual. And then when we go to 7-on-7 or, pass pro, we're working sprint out protection, so all the concepts that we run off of sprint out, those are the only concepts that are being run on Monday. Off inside zone, that includes our key screens, our pops, anything we run off inside zone, that's run on Monday. And then on Tuesdays was gap scheme emphasis in individual. So we're practicing our combos, we're practicing our pulls, our kicks, our logs, and everything, because I just don't feel that you can get an adequate amount of reps on everything, within a 15-minute period, work on 4 different schemes, So that was our way of really refining our technique on those run schemes, dividing it up, within those days.
Okay, that makes sense. Look at that.
Yeah. And then so Wednesdays was our drop back slow screens. So we worked, like, we didn't have a whole lot. We might have had 4 drop back passes, but we ran a lot of tunnels and a lot of running back screens. So, when we tag our tunnels to 2 and 3 man snag, we're working in individual and releasing to our landmarks. Like we used to use, those heavy stand-up dummies, knock them over, pop up. Like we'll put them, one as a flat defender, one as a safety, one as a defender, and we would practice on releasing to those landmarks, over and over and over again. Just to, so those linemen will get used to running downfield. And so that's how we just divided up. Like that was our week of practice, no matter what. Like Noah said, he had a set of 30 plays. No matter what, we had a set of like 20 that we were running no matter what. And it fit into those 3 days of practice. Now, anything else different we did, we just fit it into one of those 3 days where it fit the scheme.
All right. That makes sense. So you stuck with the 3-day install.
Yes, basically, yeah. Yeah, we did a 3-day install at practice every week. And then, now the team session would include a little bit of everything, but the individual and the group periods would be just that scheme emphasis of that day.
That makes sense. So you're still getting reps of everything. You just have an emphasis day based on the day.
On fundamentals, of emphasis day on fundamentals.
All right. Now we have some questions. SA said, Coach, huddle is awesome and contains great things. So high fives and bus laps to you.
Appreciate it.
You're going to have something on that toward the end about a nice little deal right there. Coach Runs wants to know, how do you teach the pulling guard to log kick depending on the end of the play?
Okay, so when you're pulling, you have to read the technique of the defensive end. So if he's squeezing down off of the hip of your tackle, and if he's taking away the space in between himself and our play side offensive tackle, then we're going to attack his outside shoulder, punch with our outside arm, try to turn him and get our hips around. And then our tackle should be reading the block of the guard. So if his butt stays inside, our tackle is turning up. If his butt turns out, then he's going to wrap around. And then it's like a domino effect. The guard makes his block. Based on what the guard does, the tackle reads that. The running back reads the block of the tackle. So
it's like the guard reads the end. The tackle reads the guard. Right. The running back reads the tackle.
Yes.
So if the guard messes up, it screws the whole thing up.
Pretty much. I mean, you can say that, but there was And look, like I said, we were never 100% accurate. There were times where, we had a good kick and our tackle wrapped and the back followed them and we still got, a gain of 10 or 15. So,
Now, for
but
them to get good at that, you have to have some kind of drills. Did you have like a secret sauce drill? Like the air raid has to settle up and the pat and go. Did you have any drill
yeah,
that
no, I
you?
mean, just like everybody else, front side, we practiced on our combos, our down blocks. Like,
What? We
if
just
we're
become
running it
best
to a
friends.
shade
Yep.
or to a, inside, one or something like that, we practice on guard with his lead step, power step. We go through steps underneath the shoots and then driving that one tech out. You want to displace him out of the A gap. Tackle knows, like he wants to make sure he takes a good landmark if he has an open B gap. If there's a three tech, they want to work on a good combo, getting hip to hip. The guard not making sure he's not, getting his inside arm involved and turning himself, not being able to get his eyes on a backside, things like that. And then, we work combinations. If we do have a nose, we work the combination between the center and the guard. And then, we have a guy, like when we work in our pools, we have a guy with a hand shield standing up as a defensive end, and I'm standing behind the guard, and I'm telling the defensive end whether run up the field or squeeze. And as the guard's pulling, he has to read that. So if he's squeezing, he's working his log. If he's up the field, he wants to get inside out on his kick out.
Okay, and that's
Same
every
thing with the tackle.
Tuesdays.
Like tackle's gonna work reading his block. So if the guard's kicking, the tackle's working on pulling through. If he's logging, the tackle's working on wrapping around, getting his eyes back inside for a backer trying to work over the top.
Did you have a favorite way to run counter? I know Auburn. I think until recently would run counter one way and power the other. Were you similar, or were you
No,
attack?
we ran it both ways. We ran left and right, but my probably my favorite way was this out of this set here, like off of like trying to sell our comment screen. And that's what I like. Like I think we did a pretty good job of kind of packaging our offense together where, everything just fit. Like, people I've gotten texts before or DMs or whatever about, how do you do this with power read and counter and I try to explain to them those two plays are not standalone plays. Those plays are used to protect something else that we do within our offense already. So and I think that in itself is kind of like what makes it go.
If you could only choose one of the three the big three, inside zone, counter, power.
I'll scratch inside zone.
Why's that?
I just feel that we can do so much more. Well, I mean, because I can still tag key screens to our gap scheme on the outside. I mean, that's nothing. You can tag key screens to anything. But to me, gap schemes, we're gonna have an advantage. Like if we come up against a personnel issue, the gap schemes what's gonna help us have an advantage or help us be more competitive rather than inside zone. Trying to dig them out. Maybe you might get a lot of more one-on-ones with inside zone than you would, combo, like because we didn't do the duo stuff. So we were just inside zone.
That everybody's falling in love with.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we didn't block it that way. We kept our inside zone rules simple. You either covered play side or backside, and based on that, determine what you did. That was it. We tried to simplify our rules as much as we could, and made sure that those rules applied to the fronts we saw, whether it was a 4-2 over, 4-2 under. We don't see a whole lot. We didn't see a whole lot of 3-3 stack.
Wow.
But our rules apply to that. We did see teams at times, try to run a 5-1. I do have some clips of counter versus a 5-1. We did start to see a lot of 3-4, later on. Because I think 3-4 was starting to get real big, aside from the even man front. And then we had to apply our rules. And one of our rules, let's see if I have it. I don't know if I have it in this presentation. But so see, and this is another constraint play we run off our comment screen is, we trying to sell comment screen to the left. And once they're rotating or bumping backwards this way, we're throwing a slow screen back side to the run.
Nasty.
So, that was a package in itself. And then, like I said, that sold, either a perimeter screen to the left or, so if we start getting these rotating safeties or backers bumping, then we can try to slice them through the middle with a quarterback counter, or, they didn't know if we were trying to pop them through a common screen or locking it going downfield, throwing a running back screen backside, or trying to slice them through the middle with a quarterback counter. So it just became its own, its own small offense,
What percentage of your calls were this package? If you can guesstimate.
I get it. Again, it just, going into a game, I don't plan on running, this particular package 30% of the time. What I try to do is the first two series of a game, I'm going to try to put in a lot of our formations that I saw on film that weekend that they adjusted to, and motions, and try to see if they're going to play that the same as what we saw. And based on their adjustments and who's making the tackle, that's going to determine what we're running next.
Okay, now we have another question. Coach Runs wants to know, how do you play a 4-tech to the call side?
A 4-tech to the call side?
I'm guessing if you're when you're pulling
the
around.
Front, you're talking about like 4-tech out of an odd front?
Is that what you're saying, Coach? Are you talking about like a four,
something kind of like this, something kind of like, head up on the tackle?
We will see. Coach, put it in chat. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about like a 4-4 odd? Yes, an odd front.
Okay, so to the play side?
Yes.
If we're getting a 4-tech, and I'm assuming they're going to have an overhang.
Probably.
Okay, so that's one of our rules that we put in versus the sideman front is when our play. Now I know this is inside zone. Well, I'll draw with I'll tell you what. I saw no.
Yeah, if you go share and you click.
I'm going to stop sharing again, right?
Yes. And then if you hit share screen, there should be like a whiteboard.
Yep. I learned that from Noah recently.
Look at that. Look at that.
All right. So if we're getting this look, and this is the thing, you have to formation them. You can't be balanced because they'll have this overhang here. So we're going to put 3 wide receivers over here and bring out that overhang on this side, right? So wherever the safeties are, it doesn't matter. So we'll say he's more out and he's more here. So this guy's not. All right. Is that good? All right. So if we're covered on and outside, so we're going to run counter to the overhang, and we're going to run power read to the nub side. So to the overhang side, when the tackle is covered on and outside, he's going to block out. So as he's blocking out, that 4-eye should be thinking he's trying to get reached. First step, right? So he may take a step out. We're going to combo this nose to the backside. We're going to kick that 4, and the tackle is going to be through, and we're reading the 4-tech on this side. And then you can attach key screens, like you can attach a key 3, key 1, whatever you want to do, or stock block. It really doesn't matter, or you can do this. You can line up in 2x2, motion this guy, which we did a lot of because we ran so much jet sweep, try to get this backer to bump out, trying to stop this, the speed sweep, and then give it back underneath this way.
On your jet sweep, this is something I always like to ask people. Were you a pitch the ball forward kind of guy, or were you actually
when we
meshing?
Were just running, when it depends.
Okay.
We did it both ways. If we were just running the speed or jet sweep, we did forward. When it was off of a run, it was always, we had a mesh to it. We would either hand it off or, pull it and give it to the run back or whatever we had called.
Now, this is something I had problems with because I didn't really understand or knew how to call something where I wanted them to give the ball or where I wanted it to be a part of the play or a fake.
This is what we went to, and I really think it helped us a lot. So we use the terms race and lap.
Okay.
I mean, that's a P. All right. So race and lap talk to our skill guys, right? Not just the letters really doesn't matter. All right. So if we're using race, that told all these skill guys, the F's involved, that we're running speed sweep this way, right? So those skill guys were blocking speed sweep to the right. Now, so if we wanted to run, so we're always going to read the end to the race side, right? So now I can either tag power read or counter. So I'll just fill in the rest. So if we're saying race, and we're running power read to the right, well, all the skill guys are blocking speed sweep, coming into the mesh. Again, he's taking his 2 shuffles. We're blocking power read, and he's reading the end. If he's firing up the field to stop the speed sweep, we're pulling it.
What? Did we just
for
become
the power
best
read.
friends?
And the same thing with counter. So if we go race, and then we have counter left called, where he's going to block back, they're going to combo that to the backside. The guard's going to kick. The tackle is going to be through. He's going to take 1 shuffle for counter, and then he's going to read this in. If he's up the field trying to tackle the speed sweep, then he's running counter. If he's on the hip of the tackle, he's just going to hand that ball off, and we're off to the perimeter. So that's how we, tagged our speed sweep to our run game by using the words race and lap. So if it was lap, obviously this slot on the right knows, and the fullback knows they're going speed sweep to the left, and we can either tag. Now, when it was race or lap, the quarterback knew he was always the runner off the pull. So that told the quarterback that he was either going to hand it off or he became the runner, and it told the skill guys they were blocking the speed sweep to the R or the L side.
I like that. Now, did you have someone designate as the race in the lap, or did they know, like, if it was?
It was always our 2 slots. Like, we didn't. It was not always. Yeah, it could have been either slot. Like,
okay,
pop route, it was always a particular slot running the pop because he was our best guy, and that's who we went with. But with the race and lap, we could be in right or left, which is our 2x2, and we could go either way with it. Both slots got reps at running the race or the lap.
All right, I'm glad you answered that. Now, Bird, how you doing, sir? You doing okay? Did you ever do race and lap at a 3x1 coming back to the single receiver side?
We did, but it was with
I'm just wondering because then you have both slots. I didn't know how you did that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me out there. I don't know if I have film of it. I don't have. Unfortunately, I lost like.
I totally understand.
Film. I don't have on I have my own personal huddle, and I can only fit like 100 hours. And when I tried to download some stuff, I lost some of it. 3x1. Yeah. So in 3x1, we can go Rio and then lap, and you can either go power read this way or counter that way. I mean, you could. That was probably the least version that we ran of that. A lot of times it was 2x2, or the 1 or 2 years we did have an H-back when we did this. So we would be here. And the same thing, race told them they're doing that, and
I like that.
Included in that. And then we will either power read or we'll counter back that way.
I like that. Gun to your head, would you rather be in 10 personnel or 11 personnel with an H-back?
10.
Why is that?
I feel that, we can do more things. Well, in the offense that we did, we could do more out of 10 personnel than we did, like, running key 3. We didn't run the fungo like Bobby was talking about the other day to the H-back. I would rather have a slot out there running the key 3 than having the H-back get out there.
Okay. Yeah, they seem to be going.
And for certain things, like our pop route, I felt that a slot was better running it than an H-back / tight end.
I'm
Not
glad
that we done it before, but for us, it was better with that personnel.
I'm glad you brought up the pop route. What are the key coaching points on that? Because sometimes I find that my guys are too fast or they're too slow.
Yeah,
I know it's a science.
Out of 3x1 or just anything.
Just in general, or your favorite way to run it.
Yeah. So we ran 3x1, and this set right here was what we did most. This guy right here, or this was the same guy whether it was this set or it was 3x1.
Okay.
And so basically, depending on the structure, they're gonna have a free up here somewhere, or it might be one high. But anything, so when you start seeing this guy, like what we tell this guy, you want to go about half speed, and you don't want to get, we don't want to get into the box. We
Okay.
want to try to still happy area, open grass area here. Now, if this guy is not biting, on the motion that we're trying to send out, we're gonna attack his outside hip, try to get him to open up, and then try to like banana route inside. But trying to stay skinny. We're not getting into the B gap or anything like that. We're just trying to, and it's about half speed because we don't want to catch the ball at 10 yards and having an opportunity for this free safety to make a play or disrupt this play. We want to catch this ball at like 6, no deeper than 7, get the ball and read this guy, and be able to react to whatever he's trying to do.
Okay. I like that. That at one point, a couple of years, was our best run and pass play.
And then what we did our 3-by-1, again, he was our pop. And then this guy, if they're playing man, you can run him off. If cornerback's sitting, you can stalk. And we run our key too. We don't run bubbles like we used to. And I have film like I let one guy run bubble, and that dude went to La Tech.
Yeah.
But everybody else, they were gonna take one step outside and backpedal out and get where they need to get their chest to the quarterback, and that's how we did it, and it worked for us. So we used that technique. So when we're running our screens, so we're running snag here. We tag screen to the backside. So we're going to read this snag here. See the snag, or if we have number 2 called, he's going to run his key. And when he sees and then again, screen releases, I've done many versions. I've done it to where the tackle, the guard, and center released. I've done it to where the guard, center, guard released. Years depended on our personnel. So if our tackle wasn't good getting out, we did guard, center, guard. But I think towards the end, we were better off going tackle, guard, center, just because we had an athletic tackle that can get out there. So he's going to count 2. He's got sidewalk. So as soon as that slot sees this guy coming, that triggers him to come back inside and get back in this. So he's alley, and then he would have the box. So that's kind of like we tied in a screen fundamentals to our slow screens. So it made it look the same.
Yes, that is nasty. You keep saying that you have film. Do you mind showing us some?
Yeah, no, y'all want to go through power, read, and counter first? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We kind of just spun all kind of ways.
Well, we're diving deep into counter, and I'm getting excited. And now let's hit up some power, man.
No, I'm down for whatever you want to do.
And while Coach is bringing it up, let me go ahead real quick. Hey, RC, Smosh, and Darkside, I saw you. Thank you for the follow, guys. I really appreciate it. And also, if y'all this is the first time visiting my channel, my Twitch stream, whatever it is you call it, I'm Coach Ron McKie. I do live interviews with brilliant people like Rhett right here. We're diving deep into run scheme. I also play Madden, and I try to use real-life schemes in Madden. So if that's something that you are interested in, hit that follow button. And now, again, Coach, take it away, buddy.
All right, so counter, all right, as we were getting to start this thing. Over front, we're going to combo the 3 to the backside. Now,
are you sharing? I don't think anything's up right now.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
That's fine. You and Noel, man. You and Noel, y'all.
Trying to get
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, trying to hurry up and get going. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right, so 4-2 over front. And like I was saying, I've had many conversations with coaches before on the center. We never pull the center. I don't care if it's a shade, a 2, or a 3, we're blocking back to that. So, and I know some coaches are totally against it. They want to have the guard block back on the 3 and at the center pull. Maybe one center in the 10 years I was there could pull and do what I need him to do, but I wasn't going to change the rules for 1 year, for that one guy. I just rather just keep the rules the same, every year. So anyway, we're going to combo this to the backside, center's blocking back. The guard's going to pull a kick inside. The guard or tackle will read that block. If his butt stays inside, we're through. Now, I don't really say linebacker. I say play side defender. because this linebacker could be running out, a safety could be coming down, so you really don't know. And you don't want, I don't want him seeing, okay, I got number 50. Number 50 is running out here. And I don't want him chasing way out there. I want him leading through. And we'll see some guys like on power read. There was some years where I had to use some defensive tackles as linemen, because of injury, and they're coming through on power read, and that guy's flying out and he's going to get him. Like, no, just lead up the field to the next different color jersey,
Yeah.
So, here's an under front, there's no combo needed. Basically, you want to come off the hip of the guard in case he, try some type of stunt trying to come over the top. He's going B gap track. Again, we're blocking back to a 3. We're kicking out. We're through, reading the backside in. And this was the look. I think this is what the guy was talking about earlier with the 4.
Yes.
The tackle's covered on and outside. We're going to block out. And we're going to kick that guy that's over the tackle. And hopefully by us blocking out, we're getting him to take a step out and creating an easier block for that guard anyway. And we're going to combo the nose to the backside and go through with the tackle. And then 30 steps, 3-3. What's that?
I like that 3-4 adjustment.
Yeah, that's, because
I like that.
And we got burned, when the 3-4 started being popular, we got burned because we were going down with that tackle, and this guy was just coming off the edge and just killing us, So, this was our adjustment, and it kind of just.
That is nice, man.
From there, and then 30 stack, we're gonna combo the nose to this defender here. Tackle has a B gap track to the mic. Guards kicking out, tackles through. Right, just what everybody else does.
That 3-4 right there. That's the ticket.
Yeah, we do see this a lot from certain schools when to me when they're doing this, they're just guessing, trying to fill gaps and trying to do something. And center's gonna make a call when we see this double eagle front or bear front that we're gonna send everybody down. We're gonna kick the end man and go through. Because normally when they're doing this, we see too high. Don't have 2 backers in the box. If they were 2 backers in the box, I would run this off of speed motion, trying to get this backside backer to attack because we can't get to him out of this look. So that would be answer if they would fill in 2 backers. All right, so here's our quarterback counter. Out of 2 back, faking. Now, if we fake, he's going to block. There is no read on this. This is just a give. So if it's 3rd and 3, we're calling count out of 2 back. We're giving it, and, we're getting 3 yards. Here's off the jet motion. So again, and we're not, this is not a mesh. This is just a window dressing motion because we're still reading this in off of this. And I do have a clip where we send the motion, quarterback pulls it, and he takes off the way of the motion because the end was on the hip of the tackle. And then this again, when we got sidetracked, this is off of the counter. The comment screen. So we called it arc motion. So it'd be brown arc, quarterback counter to the right. You're going to fake. He's blocking the read, and then quarterback splitting it. Hopefully we're getting some backers that are going to bump out, or safety spinning down. So, we get this, get a decent gain out of that.
Okay.
All right, so here's some looks here. Again, so this is kind of like a backside look. Our tackle is covered on and outside, so he's going to be blocking out. Now, this was later in the game, and, it's one of those games where, like, you're just trying to run the clock out, so you're not tagging anything. And so we tell the quarterback, if there is no tags to control this guy, and he's coming off the edge, when there's 2 off the edge, it's an automatic give. The backs just got to beat these 2 through the hole. So this front side, he's blocking out, and then we're going to pull and kick this guy, and then the center's down call here, guards down on here, and then these 2 are coming off the edge, so it's an automatic give. So,
okay.
Yeah, well, I had that anyway. So when we see 2 off the edge, it's, we're giving it. We just got to beat those guys through the hole.
And you did. That is nice.
Same look, different drive, same look. You know, again, you're going to see the tackle. Now, I know I've talked to some coaches. If he's wide, they're going to send him down. But for us, I don't want any guessing involved. I don't care if he's 3 yards or 5 yards. You got a guy on you and outside, you're going out to block that guy. So there's no, I thought he might have came in late, but I thought he was outside. Coach, you're just going now.
Okay.
There's no discussion about it. You go and get him now.
And Bird wants to know, is that Neville High? Neville High?
No, this is, I was at Laurelville High School.
Okay.
This is 2A school.
God, they're just playing straight up cover zero against you, weren't they?
Yeah, that's when you run the football effectively, you'll get stuff like people. That's their answer. They'll run cover zero. There's a playoff team who played a few years ago. They had two guys going to LSU, and they were both playing defensive ends, and tried to run plays as fast as we could. And I have a few clips on here, being able to run counter against that. Like, now, we always start in the pistol. We don't ever snap the ball in pistol. We just, because some teams will set the three away from the back. Some teams will set the three, to the back. So we're just forcing them to line up. But again, we don't care. We don't care if it's a 3 or 1 that we're running it 2.
That's nice.
I was a freshman quarterback that year too.
That's a tall old quarterback.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. Again, okay, so here's the 3-3 stack. I don't think we had any keys. Yeah, so this right here, we're just blocking it. Later on, this guy right here, he starts creeping up and trying to come off the edge. So then you're gonna see we're still running counter, and we're gonna tag a key screen to the perimeter, so he can't be right. See the end comes straight up the field. If we were a little faster, we would have scored. But that number 5, we must have had 5 plays that busted long like this, and that guy caught us every time.
He's a track star.
Right here, here's a key. We tagged key 3 to this. So this guy was the only guy we let run the bubble. And here's the guy that we're trying to put in conflict. He's going to come off the edge. We're going to throw it now. If he would back off, obviously we would be reading the defensive end for the counter.
There's number 5 again.
Yeah, now he was that athletic team. Those 2 defensive ends were going to LSU. One of them was Rosenthal. He ended up playing the line. Again, they're coming straight. They're big, but you see they're coming up straight up the field. Now, if we were inside zoning, there was no way my tackle was just going to lock on and drive that 300-pound guy.
Yeah.
There was no – my tackle weighs like 210, 215. So by kicking him out, his momentum, when they're able to make a crease. And we actually tempoed this play. One word, like we had a Rambo was a repeat call. So right when he's getting tackled, we're saying Rambo, and we're running the same play. So here's out of 2 back. We're going to fake. Now, this is our slot receiver. We don't personnel. Like at the school I'm at now, we had the luxury of putting in a different running back. But, when I was at Laurelville, we used our slot receiver in the backfield as the second running back. That's just another
I like
yardage goal line situation. You don't want to read involved. You put in extra back. It's a max set. The quarterback knows he's giving the football.
Was that a call, like a counter block or something like that?
That was just black, which is our 2-back formation with the slot to the left, and then counter to the right. The running back on the left knows he's getting it. The back on the right knows he's faking the cross and blocking the read on the backside.
Okay. T Banks says you are his guy. Just wanted to give you a shout out.
Oh yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, that's my dude.
The dark side says great diagram. Looks like it beats most edge blitzes. Is that true?
But like I said, these 2 plays don't stand alone. I think the things we do within the offense kind of helps control that, so teams don't necessarily send a whole lot of edge pressure. Now if we do, counter read and power is not the answer all to everything.
Okay.
It might be the common screen. And when we start seeing them widening out and playing that, then we'll hit them with the quarterback counter because now it's loosening the box up a little.
All right. And then Coach Norris wants to know, and two back where you kick the N with the F, have you ever ran an RPO reading the backside linebacker?
Not out of that, no. We haven't out of that. Like we were not, like I said, this was a freshman quarterback and we tried to keep things simple. So we did not do any third level RPOs. It was first level and second level only.
Okay. All right.
So here's off of the jet. This team was playing this man. And like this team tried to, first two plays of the game, they played us in zero, which, I knew we had a feeling they would play us man, but not zero. And so we had a play called. They outnumbered us. And the next play, I don't have it on this thing, but we throw a slant, for a touchdown because we beat the one-on-one matchup. So I think, the different things we do set up other plays for us. So here's a speed motion. We run a lot of jet sweeps. So this guy's running, we're running counter, and he's still running the other way.
Yeah, I like that.
You can tell they have some pretty good-looking kids on that team.
Yes, they do.
All right, so I think this is a speed motion too. You're going to see these backers running. And this is another reason I like running off of jet motion is the defense starts running sideways. Well, if you can start getting them to run sideways, they're not running downhill to attack your running back.
Makes it easier.
Like you talking on Madden, the little glitch thing. They can't put their foot in the ground and attack, That running back was a little wide. He should have been tighter on his path. But that's that kid, that was a hardworking kid. He didn't go anywhere after high school, but like I said, he was a mentally tough and physically tough kid. He took a beating running between the tackle. You can see he's not very big.
Looks like a Sproles type running back.
Yeah, I think he was smaller than Sproles. To be honest. Okay, so here's an example. We're still running it off the speed sweep. The quarterback's still reading the end, and he's going to pull it. So, here's a fake. He's reading that end, and he's still pulling it. So the motion on this was just window dressing to try to take the defense's eyes off something. Even if it's for a second. That second may give us what we need to get this play started. All right, so here's a good example. There's going to be a lot of people moving on this. So that safety, you can see bottom guy, this guy right here, he's floating back on the motion. They got a stunt right here where, we had a right call at the right time where this back, he's trying to squeeze and scrape over the top. We still get that kick on that squeeze and we're, running back hits it down the hash.
That is nice.
So you can see the free safety, he's running to the motion. He's taking himself out the way, and he can't adjust. By the time the running back's through, it's too late. Let's see, what does it say? All right, quarterback counter. All right, so these are all the different ways, and I don't know if I include them in here, but we have formations where we'll stack the receivers just to see how the defense is going to align, try to get them to widen out. If they don't widen out, we'll throw the key two out there. If they get out there, then, makes it easier to run. Yeah, so even if it's a bad snap, this is basically like, this becomes single wing. Basically, we're telling the quarterback, catch the football, and get behind the pulling tackle. The snap was terrible here. Does a good job, gets behind the tackle,
I will take a bad snap like that if I get the outcome every day, every time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we believe, counter and power read were our top two run plays that we believed in. And we ran them over and over and over. If the defense gave them to them, we ran it over and over and over. It wasn't going to be like, like you run counter, you gain 8, and 2 quarters later, why didn't I run counter again? We'll repeat this play. We'll flip it. Like, we have one-word calls where if we're 3-by-1 and running counter to the right, and we say Oscar, it flips the formation in the play totally, so they don't have to remember a whole blocking scheme, just one word. We can one word some of our other plays where they don't have to memorize a blocking scheme, a route, or whatever.
I like that.
The power read one game where we did that.
All right, so Coach Dewey says for power encounter, Rhett is the dude. So give him the love.
Here, you don't know if this is a bear front. This, to me, on film, this looks like 2 1s and a 4. I mean, you can't really tell. But based on our rules,
block out.
So he's going to have a down call where he's going to send him back, him down, and if he's inside, he's going down. Well, if he's on, like I said, though, if he's head up to outside, then he's going to block out. And if it's 2 to the outside, it's an automatic give. And you see our slot trying to block because we don't have they're in 0 because the free safety's coming down, but we don't have a key. So the quarterback knows 2 off the edge, he's giving it no matter what. Because if he pulls it, he's going to get hit in the mouth by the second guy. Well, this is quarterback count.
Just get to the outside. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, so he does a good job of being patient right here. He's waiting for that tackle to do his job and find the hole.
You make it look so simple.
I mean, we rep like this. These 2 schemes is what we believe in, and we rep it and rep it and rep it. So here we're checking it. We ain't some big guys up front, and we're able to get angles and get a few yards. That's, to me, that's everything we ask the kids to do. And for a 7-yard gain, we got to work for what we're getting.
Now, you said he checked it. Why'd he check it? Was that something you caught on the sideline?
Well, I had a freeze call on. So, I don't use, and again, this is, this thing can spiral into many directions. We only use 1 snap count, ready, set, go, ready, set, go, ready, set, go. And we're getting the defense to get in the rhythm. So when they're here to set, go, we're trying to get them to jump. So, I might have a freeze call. And I did, one of the Coach 2 courses I did where we use refrigerator brands, Maytag, Kenmore, Wolf. And so we use Kenmore.
Hold on. How country are you that everyone knows different? I don't even know one.
Dude, I'm from South Louisiana, man. We have deep freezers for all the meat that we,
refrigerator tag. That is awesome, man. That I like that. I'm laughing, but I like that you're using something that you and the kids both know.
Oh yeah.
And mixing it in. That is awesome.
And I had a coach that was, he was my signal guy. To be honest, it got to the point where I couldn't even remember half of our signals because I would tell him, hey, we're doing this, figure out a signal for it. Or there were times where, we have the power at school that comes to school to sign language. So I would use her book and look for hands, using 6 signs for one hand. And it may not even meant that. It could have been the letter B, and we called that for zone left, whatever, and we just stole signs out of that book.
Yeah, and Banks says, Ron, you are country too in South Carolina. I am, but I am the least country Southern person that I know.
So, yeah, so right here, we got a freeze call. Those guys are probably getting a good jump on us, and to give us an advantage, we're trying to get 5 cheap yards. And if they don't jump, based on what we see, we're going to cost them. We got 5 in the box right here. So quarterback counter, I got 6 blockers versus their 5.
Yeah.
To me, I think we have the advantage right now.
You do. Mathematically, I like it. Hat on a hat.
Yeah. So even if we had to work, we did everything we were supposed to do, and we got, whatever that was, 7 yards.
Now, what did you see defensives doing to try to stop this? Because they had to know you were going to run this a lot during.
Like I said, like you saw earlier, that squeeze and scrape stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When our tackle's pulling, they're gonna or down blocking, they're gonna try to squeeze that real hard and get a linebacker to come off the edge.
And then that's when you would go power.
And when they start doing that, that's the whole purpose for the pop route.
Gotcha.
When the linebacker taking themselves out of position, so then you got them worrying about a pop route, so they're kind of, tentative on coming off the edge on that.
I love it. I love how you've built in the if-thens in this whole little thing.
I mean, and like I said, we don't have 20 drop back passes. We don't throw it 50 times. Now there was a game where we did throw for 400 yards, but I guarantee you 200 of it came off of screens and pops.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah, so it wasn't from 20-yard downfield throws.
Now, what drop back passes did you incorporate? I'm guessing 2 and 3 man snags.
Of course, yeah, that was a baby. And we probably tagged the screens more times than not to 2 and 3 man snag. And we had our vertical shots where if off of a speed sweep, off of a lock key, a lock comment, like we were going to throw vertical shots somehow. And I thought like at Destrehan, we do a real good job. Like they had a real good package of their 4 verts where, they could switch the inside 2 guys, the outside 2 guys. And, we just never got real detailed or in depth in that. But, I like how they did that over here. See, like even if he's squeezing, if the guard can get inside, again, he should be a little bit more inside and have that left shoulder inside of that. This is almost head up, but the tackle's good. And look, it's not a devastating block. It's just long enough to occupy him to get the ball carrier past.
So who had more yards, your running back or your quarterback in this package? Not overall.
Out of counter?
Yeah, like at a 2-back and stuff like
honest,
that.
I never looked at it.
Okay.
I never broke it down into yards per scheme. Like there was a time where, I think the first 7 years or 8 years I was at Lowerville, we probably had a quarterback rush for 1,000 yards, 600.
Wow.
There was a year where one of our running backs had 1,700 yards. The backup had 1,500. There was a year where we had a running back go over 2,000. It just depended on year to year. Right here, the quarterback, this was one of our better athletes, that we put at quarterback. He does a good job of keeping it tight to the A gap. He got it. That guy ran with no fear. He also and a lot of these guys, they played both ways. Like our quarterback played free safety. I'm telling you, that guy was like Ronnie Lott at times, trying to take somebody's head off. And I'm sitting there like, man, if this guy
gets hurt,
then we just that was another conversation where people scared of getting their quarterback hurt, and just we wasn't blessed with 80 kids on the team, so we just did this to be competitive. If we didn't have this, then we might not have been competitive in some of the games we were. And here's off the swing screen motion. So we're trying to sell comments. So early in the game, we'll swing this guy out, see how they play it, and if they're not moving, we'll throw that screen. So later on, when we're running it, they're going to say, okay, well, they're trying to throw that screen again. He might start cheating out. This guy might start bumping out just enough to where, we could fit a runner inside of that.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
And here's again, you're going to see, we lose our tackle because they get a little penetration. The center really doesn't dig him out much. But still, because we're sending him out, that play side backer is taking himself out of the play. Yep. And that's where the tackle would have been pulling for. But he's taking himself out because of motion, and he's too late to get back.
And you just split him in half.
Yep.
Wow.
So we have that. if we start seeing this guy running up the field, and him attacking the ball, we're gonna attack, slip him in here, and throw him in this area here.
That honestly right there. That's my favorite play.
Yeah, that's what Like I said, the game that we threw for 400 yards, that one play right there was that and key screens, and we ran our sprint out. We threw a lot of flood, and we run two routes on sprint out, flood and curl rail, and we run them over and over and over. And so here's 3-3 stack.
That man, you were absolutely right. Has no fear.
Yeah, I mean, this was a freshman running this right here. I do wish he had a little bit more meat on him, but again, this guy was mentally more mental tough than physical. Because obviously he's real skinny, but he had the head for it. He's a smart kid, a great kid, very coachable.
That's what you want in a quarterback.
He's getting behind the tackle. He knows who he's putting his hand on him, and he's getting on his butt. All right, so that's counter.
Okay.
A lot more clips in my huddle deal. I just, I didn't know how long this was going to take. But here's power read. Again, front side, same rules apply. A gap track. We're going to double our A gap track. Double B gap track. We're going to block back. Backside guard's going to lead through. You want to be tight off of this double team here. And I used to tell our guard, you want to be able to tap these guys on the ass as you're passing through. That's how close you need to be. And then, we say B gap hinge. And basically, we just want to remind this tackle, if you got a blitzing backer through the B gap, you want to take him now and just, let him become free. But a lot of times, if we don't see a threat, the guy's just going to block out on that guy. We don't even have to hinge.
All right, I got a question real quick. I'm sorry for interrupting. They want to know, Coach D wants to know, what is your coaching points for the running back that is blocking the backside end?
You want to block what we want to do, and what we do may be different, But I always like the wing T rules. When you block left, you want to hit left, like hit with your left side, right? So that's going to put you inside. If you don't want to hit head up, because that gives the defender an opportunity to fall back inside. So you always want to gain inside level. So if you're blocking left, you want to hit left. If you're blocking right, you want to hit with your right. Okay. So that's how we taught it. It may sound country, but that's how we do it. So all the same schemes, it really, like, the only thing that it affects is that that 3-4 with an overhang. Here's a 4-2 under, where we're just gonna block the shade, B gap track. We're gonna block on this 3. Now, if this 3 is giving us issues, we're gonna B gap hinge, so it gives them a good punch, and hinges back for this end to just give the center struggling to get this 3. So that's our answer. That's why we always block back no matter what. Okay. And the running back, he's gonna come flat across. We're gonna take 2 shuffles, and based on what the end does, either give it or pull it. Now, versus the overhang, this is based on game plan. You have to formation this. So versus this scheme, we got 3 receivers to the right drawing this overhang out, right? So he's going to apex 2 and 3. We still have an overhang over here. Versus this look, we would counter to the left of this overhang and power read to this nub side right here. So we can read this 4, because we're not going to run power read, and try to read this guy, and this guy come hit the running back in the, so that's the only difference, but that's on me. I have to put us in that position. The quarterback doesn't even have to know. He knows we're calling power read to the right, and he's reading this guy. He doesn't need to know, hey, I got to be in 3-by-1 to the right to draw this overhang out so I can read this guy. He's just reading the last man on line of scrimmage. And he knows when, the running back, the guard knows when we're running counter versus odd man, and the tackle makes that call, he's blocking the guy over the tackle and not the end man on the scrimmage.
All right, we got a question from T-Mac. Travis, Coach, does he ever make a trade call, and do you turn it into a dart?
No.
Okay.
No, we never. No, these are the rules we put in,
And you
and
just keep it like that?
we roll with it. Yeah, we don't. I've never, we never ran dart. I've tried tackle trap, putting the tackle and like, if you got a 3 tech, um, coming heavy up the field and we're struggling. Like if this is just a dude and we're struggling, double team this guy, we'll pull the tackle and keep him out and run inside of that. Now there's some things that I've seen, online that we can go over after that I think I would like to incorporate, in the future. Keeping with our counter rules. Let me go back. Well, um, I'm drawing your wrist. So if we have a 3 tech here, well, if we call counter lock, which is something I saw online I really liked, we block back, we block out, even though we have counter to the right. When you tag a lock, you pull through to the play side, you're pulling through to the back side. So you don't, this guy, you're just taking his momentum against him and you're coming underneath all that. If that tackle is disrupting this double team, you just knock him out and we'll run underneath all that.
Okay.
That I think that would be an answer versus a dominant 3 tech. Like I said, I never ran this in a game. I saw that recently and I liked it. So that's something that I'm going to consider in the future. Again, so nub set, 30 stack, play side rules. And what I like about counter and power read, the front side, like from here to the right, that's the same. So you're getting multiple reps for 2 different plays. All it changes is the backside guard and tackle, whether who's pulling through and who's kicking, But I like how all this never changes.
That is nice.
So, we're going to read that in. Now this is a freshman, and when shit like this happens, decapitating his head, you get a little nervous, but
yeah, you
like I said, he's mentally tough. It's not phasing him.
Got 2 of them.
Yep. And you want to try to ride it. We say 2 shuffles, but when you're riding it, you want to bring it from the back hip and ride him to the front hip, and you want to try to stay in there as long as possible because that his initial step may be down because of a down block, but his second step is up the field. So he may give you a false read. So we want to try to keep that mesh for as long as possible because you're going to get him to come up the field. And then that's, that'll give the pull read to the quarterback.
Beautiful.
So that was a guy, that end was a player. That was a guy that, we wanted to control, making him make a decision. He was a dude too. You can see the big guy, chasing the quarterback. My center's trying to block him, and you can see that matchup. 70, which is probably 5'11", 210 versus 6'7", 310.
Good Lord, yeah.
So, and he does just enough for us to get by, we did everything we could, and we gained 5 or 6 yards. So this was a backup quarterback. So again, that was, one of our better athletes we put in there to be able to run read game, Okay, here's this play. All right, so we're opening up the series right here. This is first down. We saw in film that they ran a lot of too high. They didn't have a hole player to the boundary. So we were going to line up 3-by-1 and try to get this hole and try to run power read. If this guy was going to squeeze, we were going to get it to the edge because they had no hole player. And we didn't feel that this safety was good enough to come down and make a play. So, we called this play. Quarterback pulls it and he gains, 40, 50 yards. So we're calling Oscar right now. So they're getting the opposite formation. Running the play, you can see they still setting the chain over there. And we're running just the complete opposite of what we just did. Now, does he keep it again? That's determined by the end. He gives it this time. So that's 2 plays, 60 yards in about, whatever it took, 30 or 40 seconds or whatever, All
right, we have a question from Coach
Burns. To a defense. What's that?
What is the widest you would suggest your splits be?
Now if it's to the boundary, I mean, that's gonna change a little bit because we're obviously gonna be tighter. We're gonna tell this guy, a couple of yards off the sideline. He always wants to be 5 yards from the tackle, and he's gonna split the difference. But right here, you're gonna see, that puts us pretty close. Now, if we got 3 receivers to the field and we're on the left hash, we're gonna have our number one inside the number, our slot, 5, 6 yards from the tackle, and our number two is gonna split the difference between the two.
All right. What about offensive linemen? What are your splits for your
Well,
line?
now, like I said, what you tell them and what they do is sometimes different. So we always try to be 2 feet, but at times, throughout the game, they get tighter and tighter and tighter, and that's when you always got. That was a big thing. You always got to keep on your lineman. Hey, maintain your splits. Maintain your splits. And we always go toes on heels. Now, later in the towards my tenure there, we backed them up even further and tried to get the helmet, kind of like wing tee, because we pulled so much. Tried to get their helmets on the hip of the center, so we didn't have as much, people imposing our pulls or disrupting it or anything.
Now, what I see this a lot. Okay, before I ask my question, I'm gonna ask coaches. Do you vertical set on any passes? What's your pass protection like besides rollout?
We say vertical set, but it's just 2 steps. We say vertical set, but basically what it is, it's a 2-step set and becomes quick game protection. So we're taking 2 steps and then we're hunkering down and attacking.
Okay.
We don't do the 3 and the 4 step vertical set or anything like that because we got to hurry up and get back and get set because we don't normally have big linemen. And if we get our momentum going backwards, they're just going to run us right into the quarterback. So we got to, get our toes on the ground, and it becomes quick game protection. Now, some kids, if they were never comfortable with that, I would just even in drop back, I would say, hey, look, you can just quick set now, and handle that guy. If you're not comfortable, vertical setting those 2 steps. So, that was one thing I was never really, picky on.
Got another one.
Our screens. We're 1-2 and we're out. So we're aggressive 1-2 and we're out. So it kind of matched all together.
Everything ties in. I like that. That seems to be the overarching theme of this talk is everything matches together, so the defense doesn't know what you're doing.
It was so fun, running this because, like I said, and look, there were teams that we just weren't better than, or we just couldn't get it done. But I think a lot of times, more than not, it gave us a chance to be competitive.
Could you see the backside guard getting around on power read with 3-foot splits?
I mean, I think it depends on how fast your guard is. If he's a squatty body kind of slow guy, I wouldn't suggest that.
Okay.
He's a quick athletic guy. Yeah. Like our left guard right there, that was the biggest kid that we ever had on the offensive line right there. He was 300 pounds. He went to Southern University, and I was the only offensive lineman I ever had go to college, play football. So right here, this is set up, and like I said, everything is based on something else we run. So we run a lot of key screens into the boundary. Well, you can see right here, they took the overhang and they brought him over to try to defend our key screens or the threat of a key screen. So we're going to run power read to the field because they have no hole player. All they have is that defensive end, and he's going to be wrong no matter what he does. And that tackle, safety's not going to come down and tackle my quarterback because, I have confidence in that guy that he's going to be able to make a play.
Wow.
So here's power read. That defensive end, that guy was a player. You can see like he's trying to disrupt my tackle for blocking down and just pushing him around. So we try to hold that mesh as long as possible, try to get him out the way. Because we're not going to drive that guy off the ball.
That was a great read by your quarterback.
Yeah. Luckily, we got the ball back over here. Here's an athletic team in the playoffs. And like I said, here's a big guy coming around. I always put my bigger linemen at guards just because of the inside zone, we get movement on the two techs, you know, and then tackles got to go a longer distance pulling for counter through the hole. So we always had our quicker, smaller guys at tackle. And then plus, you got a smaller, quicker guy being able to reach on our speed sweeps. You know, so that's kind of how we determine who played where.
That's nice. Made a living off of this thing.
And look, we tell the running back, you want to get the hash, numbers, sideline. So he's probably running 30 yards to gain 7 or whatever he gains, you know, or, you know, this was longer, but, you know, we want to stretch it out and run out an angle, you know, to help us out. So, yeah, so that's, you know, that's what I had in the counter and the power read. Let's see. What we were talking about earlier.
So, coaches, if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments real quick. Coach Max says you should be throwing DC, the deep choice, Baylor. I don't know if you know who Coach Mack is. I'm sure you do. Travis.
Mm-hmm.
He's all about that deep choice. I tell him everyone would throw the deep choice if Baylor wasn't so closed-lipped on the teaching points and how to do that. It's hard to do something when no one wants to.
But like I said, we were never big on, and that was a vertical shot, like a controlled vertical shot, like almost. Now we did run for a vert, but most of the time it was off of locks and stuff like that. We weren't attacking 20 yards downfield. We were more of a, you know, dink and dunk, you know, and like here, we're gonna read that guy back to here based on what he does. You know, he backs out. Again, we throw him pop in the game. He's getting attacked. This running back's attacking the line of scrimmage, and he's bailing out.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That's why I like this play.
So, yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's an easy play. Again, I mean, this might have been earlier in the game. You know, now there is a fine line, you know, each week where, you know, depending on how good of an athlete this guy is, if he's flat-footed and the window is small, we're going to try to fit it in. But this guy's athletic, you know, we may not want to take a chance because that guy, you know, is able to cover more ground. If he's flat-footed, we may be giving it that week. If he's flat-footed, we may be throwing it that week. It just depends on how this guy's playing and who this guy is.
Okay, and that's game plan from week to week.
Yep. So, you know, if that was a dude, we might have not thrown that because he didn't totally commit. You know, he took one step and, you know, but being that who he was and we knew we were going to have that window.
And that's a nice, easy throw that anybody can make.
That was our pop guy. He always ran the pop route, whether it was 2x1, 2-back, or 3x1. You know, that was our pop route guy. You can see he takes a little stutter step outside. He's slow playing it, throttling down. He's not in a hurry to get up the field.
I like that. Favorite play right there, RPO wise.
Yeah, that was our top, you know, at second level. You know, and then right here you can see the backside safety's trying to poach, you know, so we don't want to, you know, I'd rather him trying to settle up in this hole. Like, you know, you can almost run it as a stick route, really. It's wide open a stick, you know. Just settle down and don't continue to drift. But this team knows, I mean, we're running so much, this guy almost takes off that way, you know.
And then when you do something like that, you can come back with maybe if you have Y cross or something like that.
Yeah.
Because then that guy's going to the left and you're going to the right.
Receiver. Either something with the one receiver. You can run a post or a glance or whatever. I mean, it's in this possibilities. It's just, you know, what you have time to rep. Because if we don't rep it a lot in practice, then we're not going to run in the game.
I like that. I like that mentality. Even though you run a lot, you were still using.
Seems like a lot, but and this is how I explain
principles.
This is how I explain. Like when we're asked what type of offense we run, it's like I teach a bunch of puzzle pieces, and we can reach into the bag and grab 2 pieces, match them together, and that's going to be some type of combination that we can run. The kids know it because we rep all these combinations. We rep all these pieces every week. It may not be, a specific combination that we run, every week, but we run those pieces every week, you know.
I do like the pistol and then bounce into whichever side.
Yeah, no, we've never snapped the ball with, in the pistol, like, because it changes the footwork, and we don't have time to rep. Or we didn't when I was at the smaller school. We didn't have time to rep footwork from pistol and then footwork from sidecar. So we just gave the illusion of pistol and forced the defense to just line up and not, if we're here, well, that guy knows this three take knows he's lining up here right away. Well, he doesn't know which side he's supposed to go to. Even if maybe we could have even moved a little faster, but these were just aligned right away. You can see this backer. I don't even think you can see him in the screen right now. He's pretty much out the box trying to get underneath this number 3 right now. So the quarterback, you can't even see him. So the quarterback knows. I mean, it's 5-6 yards.
Take that every time.
Yep. You can see here the backer's blitzing, And again, our athlete, he ain't the greatest passer, which is why we don't throw air raid 50 times. But he's good enough to get the ball where he needs to get to, Why these are the concepts we run. Like this guy, look, we're attacking the line of scrimmage and he's stepping back.
Yeah.
Trying to get underneath that pop route. So, I mean, that's 5 yards, 2nd and 5. And we're staying ahead of the chains.
That's a good little slot you have right there.
Yep. And it's number 8. I mean, that year it was number 8. Another year it was 5. It's whoever our best guy is in that spot. Right here's the 30 stack. Now in 30 stack, we're reading the outside backer. So he's blitzing. You gotta get underneath that. It's tight, but that's getting the ball to a good athlete and making the play. And like I said, it was 5. That year it was 5. You can see H running his key too. But when he graduated, he moved into that role and he was the dude. So that's kind of like how we determine who's doing what.
I like how they set them up outside.
Mm-hmm.
A couple steps outside, make them break their hips, and then come right back underneath.
If we got a guy that's playing inside or head up, we're gonna attack his outside hip, try to get him to open up, and then get underneath.
That's smart. That's good. That's good coaching right there.
The quarterback's not reading this guy. He's reading this guy. This is the second backer. He's just pushed out because of the 3 receivers. It's this guy's job to get him taken care of. So it's his job to do whatever he's taught to do to get inside this grass. Quarterback's reading him. If he gets the pull read, he's got to get the ball to him. So it's his job to get where he needs to get to.
That was a nice catch, too.
Yeah, no, he's a good athlete. You can see he's not in a hurry to get up the field. It's about half speed. I don't want him downfield because you see 3s coming down. Now, look, he's not the greatest of all athletes, but he catches the ball, and now, he can do what he needs to do to get by him. Yeah, blitz or something. Yeah, so he's blitzing off the edge and we're replacing.
And I don't care what team you play, that motion right there is going to be.
But you can see.
Always pull them.
Yeah, this is setting up everything we do. So this can be the common stream. Like if we feel comfortable, like, if he saw this guy, if it was still 2-on-2, we have 2 here, he's off the edge, we would probably throw this common screen if that's what the play was. Or, if these backers are bumping every time, we might crease them with the quarterback counter. It just depends on who's making the tackle and who's rotating where, determines on what we're doing next.
And Travis says that outside vertical stem, even 1 step is major. I just stole that right now.
Yeah.
Never thought to stem in RPO.
Well, that's kind of like what Noah was talking about the other day. You have quick game routes, and then you have your quick game RPO routes. You know, when he was talking about his slants,
Mm-hmm.
he's running a quick game slant differently than he's going to run an RPO slant. And basically, that's what we're doing here.
I swear that Noel, it's like
So
he knows how to
this,
coach football.
yeah. So this is when we were experimenting with
Pin and
our
pull or
pull
outside zone.
and not having it tied in. And you know, I was never comfortable with it. Now, what I did like is, you know, being that we have when we're knowing the reason we went to is because we really wanted these guards to fly out with the pulling guard. You know, if they're reading guards, they're gonna fly out quicker. So
Yeah.
that's why we went to it. But we were just never comfortable, you know, versus different fronts what people were trying to do. So we inside zone kind of like took care of that for us. And you know, like I think the number 5 had 280 this game, and that one play was probably 150 of it. You know,
Dang.
and then, you know, we either running on the goal line. This was Ford's first year. That slot receiver, he didn't play football his freshman and sophomore year. I mean, quick as hell. You know, I think he would have been so much better if he would have played his freshman and sophomore year. But you know, he still, you know, he could fly, good hands, good athlete. And he was, you know, he was the guy where we actually moved him around, you know. So this set, this is kind of like its own package in itself because in this set, we'll throw a lot of key screens, you know, run the inside zone. We'll sprint out. We'll sprint out and throw the tight end screen on the backside. And then we'll run pin and pull. And what we ended up doing, we did pin and pull early. And then we ended up doing inside zone and popping them 3. So this formation was its own package in itself. Now, we didn't practice like different parts of it got practiced on the day that, you know, the inside zone or the sprint out or, you know, whatever. The tight end screen was on Wednesdays because that was our screen release day. You know, 5 right here, I mean, this is, you know, this is a dude.
Yeah, that quarterback's pretty nice at just putting it where it needs to be.
Now that was 5's brother. This is when we first when we had him. The first year we went to the end zone was with 4 at quarterback, and you know we just kind of like did from there. But 5, I think 5 was a freshman. You know, he started. If we had a freshman that could contribute, they started or they played. You know, that's just how it was. You can see the backers already taking themselves, you know, out of the box. So we just gotta get inside like a safety now. And you can see, I mean, if we would have handed the ball off, I think, you know, we would have had numbers outside too.
Yeah.
You know, yards going. I mean, the next guy is 10 yards down the field, you know.
That's the best kind of play.
Yep.
Whether you hand it off or you throw it, you're still getting yards.
Yeah, no doubt. It makes you look good.
Yeah.
You know. So right here's another example of where we're attacking the line of scrimmage, and that linebacker is stepping back. You know, he's not, you know, he's playing the route that we've thrown a lot, you know, trying to take that away. So we don't have to worry about him. Again, that running back is not going to run a 4.4 in the 40, you know. I mean, he knows what he's supposed to do, and he's a tough little son of a gun, and, you know, he's going to get it done. You know, and here's, you know, we're throwing, like, again, we're trying to sell the comment screen, you know, so you can see the strong safety, his first step is out. And he gives the inside release. So that's, you know, 6 yards. See, now this is the game, like I was telling you. If this was a dude on this game plan and he did that, we'd be handing it off. but because we didn't think that this was a dude, this guy had the, the go to fit that in a tight window.
Now, do you practice, like, do you have specific drills to practice this, or is this?
Well, it's all in mesh drill.
Okay.
Like for a group period, like handoffs or whatever you do, you work in, your reads. So you might have a coach or just another quarterback or running back or whatever standing right here, and you telling them step up, step out, whatever. It's nothing earth shattering.
Okay.
It's just you get the ball to a guy like that, and special things happen.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
great coaching.
But and then that along with, and another thing I thought we did well with was let me show you this, like off the tight end. So we'll put trips into the boundary, we'll throw key screens, we'll sprint out to that, we'll either throw curl rail or flood. Like what I just showed, we'll run the pin and pull and run pop to number 3, and then we'll sprint out. And like this is the 2 years, or whatever, we had the tight end, and then there was a couple years where we practice, we'll take a linebacker and put him at tight end for a couple plays, and throw it to the line. So this was, tight end, just everybody flows to the sprint out. And then they have to play it because, like I told you earlier, this quarterback, if the defense carries, he can run for 5 yards. So they have to play this,
That's a big dude.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Now, athletic, now more times than not, believe it or not, we split him out. He was our number 1, running key ones. The way we run 3-man snag out 3x1, he runs a key 1. So basically it was, he had the same route all the time. So we set it up by motion. That was a little bit deeper, but that's number 9 right there. That's actually a linebacker. We worked him at tight end, just for that package right there, to be able to block on, pin and pull or run that tight end screen, or seal on the backside for sprint out.
Good Lord.
That was his job. It was, if it's a right-handed quarterback, it's always sprint out right, throw the screen left. If it's a left-handed quarterback, it's the opposite.
So smart.
We never, like this quarterback, we never ran it the other way. It was always this way. So anytime we run sprint out, I'm watching these guys back here. If this guy's just taking off or this guy's chasing, then I know I got the tight end screen in the next couple plays. So we might have stayed in that formation for that series. And this is probably the first time we ever ran it with that quarterback right there. I think that was the first time in the game that we ran this. I think if a couple better blocks, you might have scored.
I know he's got to be mad. That was a touchdown written all over it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but he read the wrong. Just it's a good game. And again, when he was a little younger, he was a little quicker. He could actually move a little bit. Yeah. And then I also have see what
I like how nice your huddle looks.
Well, that's the huddle vault thing I have. This on Coach 2. They get all this stuff plus the, I got games and games. I got all the LSU, and obviously I got them. I got So this was like our baby too. I mean, this is something that, we were real proud of. So basically, our 2x2 is right and left. I'm not just simple. Rio, Leo, 3x1, spread and empty, determined left and right for empty. So no 3-man snag out of 3x1 with chevron. We called 3-man snag out of 2x2 Y chevron, just to remind the Y he had the snag. That's how simple. Exxon was our 2-man snag game, and we ran that out of both 2x2 and 3x1. So basically, when we first installed it, we install it as the concept. So basically, you can run here. This is our version of 3-man snag out of 3x1. So like I told you earlier, this is the big Y guy, 88. He's running a key 1. This is basically smash with a snag. Basically, it's what it is. You can tag whatever you want, dagger, whatever, slants, game plan. So basically, our read, the R4, I don't find fit. We started with the R4 stuff, but it didn't fit because I know they used the corner as a rhythm.
Yeah.
I wanted my snag to be my rhythm route, right? Because that was my first read. That was going to be my read when we attached the screen. So this was our first read, not the corner, in which we call it a cop route, because he's going to run the corner every time until this guy gets outside before the end of his stem. He's going to put his foot in the ground and he's going to run a post. So we call it a cop route. So he's going to read snag, the cop, to keep.
Okay.
We could have, if we would attach the running back screen, then he knows he's reading the snag only to the screen. So he's taking a 3-step drop. Is he open? Fire the football. 3-step drop. Is he open? No. Open up and throw the screen to the running back. Now, you're going to see clips where if a team's in man, this is our rhythm. This becomes the rhythm. This is our man route. This is not good versus man. This is not good versus man because we don't convert routes. We're not, run and shoot. Like, we don't practice that. So the quarterback knows we're taking on one-on-one matchup with this route here, whether he's running a corner or a post based on what this guy's doing here. So here's, 3x1, 3-man snag. He's going to run his key. He has his snag and he has his cop based on whatever that guy is doing back there. He's going to run a corner. And we tell him, you're going to run a corner every time until that guy, a hash safety, gets outside of you and you put your foot in the ground at your 10-yard stem and you convert to a post.
Okay.
So you can see the snag coming underneath. All right, so again, he's going to read snag to cop to keep.
That was a lot open.
Yep. And again, you can even attach, we didn't really do it because we didn't need to, but, you could run inside zone. And the way we run 3-man snag, that guy would become our pop route, basically. So again, a puzzle piece combined with another puzzle piece, And now, okay, so they're in man. He knows this snag is going to settle right here. So he's not running away from a defender. He's running a key 1. He's not running away from a defender. But what they're doing is they're occupying and holding these guys down for this corner to get over the top. So he knows versus man, he's looking at this corner all the way. So you see the key 1 held the corner down, and we threw it over the top. So basically, it's like a smash with a snag up, the way we do it. Now, some people run corner with number 2. They run a snag with number 1 and bubble with number 3. They call it spacing or whatever, but I just find the snag from number 1 position takes a little long, and we were never good at doing that. So again, this team, we knew they ran a lot of man. So we knew, when we called this guy, we're going to the corner, and you can see that year, 7 became our quarterback because he was one of our better athletes. This year with 4, we still had, 5 towards ACL. Ooh. This is a semifinal game. So 7 was our backup. He was our next best athlete. So we put him in 5 spot. So that's just how we did it,
Okay.
We knew it was a one-on-one matchup. All right, so here we're in empty. It's running 3-man snag now. Number 2, I don't like his snag route. He runs it way too shallow. He needs to push up the field more. You can see he's too shallow. See how he doesn't get me?
Yeah.
He still occupies the defender. Nobody's in the flat, so that's his third read. He goes snag, the cop. You can see the safety at the top is working outside of him, so you can see out his stem, he's working to the post now. We had 13 for 1 year. He came to us the senior year. If we would have had him for all 4 years, that would have been a dude. Like, he was damn good. So here we're 2x2. This is Y chevron. So we're gonna run the Y. He's got the snag. He still has the cop, and instead of having a key, the back is now gonna become this key route by running a swing out here. And you can run dagger, you can tag double slant, or whatever you want back here. So again, like, they're zoning up right here. The snag's wide open.
Yep.
So that's his first read. That's why we do that. You can see we didn't have a track at our school, so it was tight quarters.
Yeah, it was. Good Lord.
And so we're running Y chevron to the top. So it's going to be snag, corner, and swing route. And you can see how it leverages the safety. Giving him a high five. All right, so here's 2-man snag Exxon. We ran it out of 3x1 most of the time. Very seldom did we do it out of 2x2. If we ran it out of 2x2, it was basically to attach the screen on the backside. So basically, we got a 2-man snag game down here. Snag and a swing. Like, the back's getting underneath the snag. You see him opening up. He's going to dump it to the swing now. Easy 5. And so if we would have the screen attached, the back would not be involved. It's just read this snag. If that backer takes it away, he's going to turn. And out of this, we always tag the screen to number 2 coming underneath. So here's our screen attachments. I have East and West up here for, like, the course purposes, but, like, I tell you now, we had names. Randy and Larry was always to number 1. Roger Louie was number 2. Ricky and Linda was to the running back. So, we can go, by formation. 3x1 set to the right would be Rio. If it's Exxon, the 2-man snag to the left, and then Roger would be our slow screen to number 2 to the right. So it'd be Rio, Exxon, Roger, and that's the total.
Okay.
So you can see, I try to just make it easier for people to learn instead of saying Roger, Ricky, and all that stuff. So right here, this is right. And then Exxon, 2-man snag game out of 2x2. And then being that it's going to number 1, this would be Randy over here. So right, Exxon would be the call in the game. So we're going to have a snag, 2x2. He's going to run a rail route or a wheel, try to open up space for the swing. And then again, over here, you can have the snag, post, or, whatever you want to tag backside. Right here, and this is the thing, the way you teach these snags is if there was a hole defender, you want to tell him once you cross his face or he crosses your face, attacking his back, you want to stick your foot in the ground and get your chest to the quarterback. But this guy kind of drifts, which, doesn't do a good job of sticking his toe in the ground. You see he's still kind of moving, and he drops the football. Well, if he would have just stuck his toe in the ground right there and get his chest to the quarterback, we would have had an easy completion right here. But he drifts.
Yep.
I put this on here just to show, why, you need to stick your toe on the ground and open grass right there. You don't need to keep working to that guy. Just stop right there. Open the grass,
Settle up a noose.
Yep. So again, we have a snag and a rail and a swing, and we have Randy attached. So he's looking at the snag route. You know, it's developing kind of slow. So he's coming back down to the screen.
And it's wide open. That's a big dude, 79.
Yeah, that's actually a defensive tackle. You know, he started at defensive tackle, and that's a guy that had to use in the offensive line. You know, so that's why we had to keep things simple.
That's what it's all about, baby.
I think this was the year we went to the semis. Those two offensive tackles, they're freshmen. They started varsity games as freshmen. Like the whole season, they started as offensive tackles. So this was the first year we actually ran this. 7 was a dude. He really went to TCU, finished at McNeese. But, you know, we're going to – and I put this one on there. I think this might be the one. Another thing you got to teach on this, you want your quarterback to have patience. Because a lot of times, you know, you throw this and you're hitting these screens for big plays where they're going to hurry up and try to get to that screen, you know. Well, the thing is you want these guys to force you to throw it because you're blocking these guys with that route. So you're going to see here when he drops back, and I think it's this one. No, it must be another one. Like the linebacker takes it away, so he's right on this one. So you can see that guy, the defender, taking it away. He's coming with the screen underneath. All right, so right here, 3-by-1 is Rio. One receiver, single receiver side, 2-man snag is be Exxon. And then we always tag it to number 2 out of 3-by-1. And it's going to be Roger. And you can see the way I have it drawn. Now, with 5, we allowed him to bubble and then come back. But later on, as we kept doing this, we're going to backpedal out. And as soon as he sees the offensive line release, he wants to get inside of that block on the sidewalk. So you can see his eyes are going to the snag. You have this defender getting underneath. So on his 3rd step, he should be turning and throwing that screen. Get underneath the sidewalk. Now, coaching point with this tackle, you know, this year we did tackle guard center instead of guard center guard. Well, if you're going to miss, you want to miss high and have this guy run underneath and not over the top. So you want to get him to chase the guy instead of coming over the top and stop him. So this is a good example of that. You can see he really doesn't get on him, but he makes him go underneath and not work over the top.
I freaking like that.
We use travel motion. So if we say travel, the back will line up and go left. If we say tear, the back will line up to the right. And you know,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So you can see that defender's widening out, right? And he's going to go attack him. The snag, as soon as you cross his face, you want to stick it in the ground, you know, and the quarterback gets that ball in the window. And you can see we have the screen down here, you know, but, you know, we ended up throwing the snag route. All right, again, this was the first year we did it. You know, again, right here, you can see we could throw this, you know, but again, the quarterback knows, you know, they're so anxious to get the ball to the screen. I feel first year we're reading the linebacker. You can see he opens up. So the way we were teaching it, you see the linebacker working his way to the snag through the screen. But later on, we would tell him, if the snag, you read the snag. If he's open, you throw it to him. We weren't even looking at the linebacker anymore. We just look at the snag route because of this situation here. We could have thrown that ball.
Yeah.
But looking at the backer and not the route, he's just doing what he was taught. So that's why we just told him from now on, look at the route instead of the defender.
Okay. And you saw a big improvement on that?
Yes, yeah. We got it to the snag like you saw that clip before. Well, if he would have looked at a backer and that guy opened up that way, he'd have never thrown that. He'd have thrown it to the screen. But because he was looking at the route and he was in the window, he threw it. You know, his eyes were on the route instead of on the defender. Yeah, so, I mean, still a good game. But, by rule, you could still throw that route up there. Okay, so here's another example. Now, see how 5, he used to stem, come back, kind of old school tunnel rules. Like we allowed him to bubble, come back. But as the years went on, you're gonna see key and then come back underneath.
Got athletes, man. I like it.
Yeah, it's some fun years, man. Like
Having good players tend to do that.
And what we had on the field already. I mean, it was that's how it was. See, like right here, this was the one I was looking for. If we were looking at the route itself, look at the route. You see, he's already off of it. I was talking about being patient. Be patient. Like, see his footwork. He's really rushing his footwork right here. He needs to take 3 good steps, plant your foot, and the route is he's wide open. But he came off so soon. But again, we work screens over and over. We still get a good game. So this is just, this is out of empty, but it's the same play. And we're running 2-man snag here. But instead of the running back swinging from the backfield, he's just going to run a bubble. Get to the same spot you would get to as if you were in the backfield. That's what we tell him. So he didn't have to learn anything new. We're just trying to thin that box out a little bit. All right, so here's the tunnel being thrown to number 2 instead. So this would be right, Y chevron, because we're running the snag with the Y, and this would be Louis because it's to the left and it's to the inside guy. Larry would be number 1, Louis would be number 2. Or you can say west, which is screen protection or screen blocking to the left, and you tag who you want to get the screen. So see how he's running his key 2 path? The guy in the slot.
Dude, that is ballsy calling a screen on your own, backed up like that. I'm gonna start calling you. I'm gonna start calling you Big Rhett. That's what I'm gonna start calling you.
I mean, when you have faith in your kids, I mean, I'm willing to do anything, based on what the defense is trying to do to us. Like he's looking at the tackle, so you can see he's backpedaling, tackles out, he comes underneath. And I found that technique helped us out a lot, like with kids that were in the system past number 5, like they really excelled using that technique. And again, like, here's that athletic team we played in the playoffs. Like, it's not a huge game, but, like they got right here, they're just playing. This might be later in the half, maybe. You see they're running up the field. Again, big boy. I think, we kept him. That was our fault. Like, we kept him at the line. We should have just let him go. He turns around and eats up our guy. Big man. Yeah, this is cut late, so I'm trying to freeze it. All right, so Y chevron, snag, corner, or cop route, swing, and then it's the number 1 at the top, so that would be Larry. So he's going to look for this guy. If he feels he's not open, he's going to throw it to the screen up top. So these are kind of like all the
ways you can run it.
Like you can run it out of 2x1. The same thing with the running back screen, kind of like on the diagram I showed earlier. That's what this is. Like the diagram I have up here, this is another way to run it. And I have some tips somewhere. I don't know if it's on here. This is 3-man snag to the running back screen. It's just the combinations are just endless. Once you teach the puzzle pieces,
you just put them together.
Pieces you want to put together. But like a lot of coaches, I've gotten positive feedback, on the huddle vault, kind of like similar to what Sean Lyotta has, just a version. But I've had a lot of positive feedback on it, and anytime coaches have questions, I'm always happy to answer. I'm a real,
open book.
Real big love talking football. And if anybody's interested, maybe they can get the link from you. I think I have a coupon for 20% off.
So what? Just go ahead and send it to me and coaches. I will, when I email this out with the replay, which will be here on my Twitch stream or on my YouTube, I will send the link as well. And then what I can do is I can put that link in the description on YouTube as well. So when people watch this, they can just click it and get it as well.
There's a lot of teach tape. When I first started with End Zone, I did my entire screen presentation. It's like 100 slides long. I have that on there, all our formations, all our motions, kind of go through the blocking schemes of counter and power and depth as far as what I showed earlier. And then, if people are interested in Alabama's RPO game or whatever, I have tons of all 22 stuff. But, I know this ended up being more than counter and power read tonight. But, if people have questions, I'll be happy to answer anything,
No, they're all saying, thanks, Coach. And, man, you went above and beyond on this.
Yeah. We love running key screens to the boundary, So, like I said, how are you going to play it? Are you going to rotate your coverage to the boundary and give us the run, the power read to the field? Or are you going to keep this guy here and give us this key screen? Either that or you're going to have to run zero. So you're going to give us our pick routes, our rub routes, our slants, So we're not sophisticated. So if they're man, we have certain answers for man, and those are our answers: our pick routes, our rub routes, slants, the one receiver side. If you're going to cover down on our 3 receivers, so we just, this was one of our one word. Like our one word when we started, it was always the same formation. So like this one wasn't a one word play. So like the word now. It might have been Rio, Zoro odd, key one. All right. So if we were, we threw it for 5 yards, we might have said Oscar, wherever the ball finished up. And so we flipped the formation and it's the exact same play the opposite way. Or we could call Rambo and run the same damn play over again. And we had 3 or 4 words for repeats. We had 3 or 4 words for freeze calls. We even had a freeze call, like our only under center play was quarterback sneak. And anybody that plays knows if the quarterback's on the center, they're running quarterback sneak. Well, that's fine. We had a freeze call for quarterback sneak. So when the quarterback's on the center, ready, set, go, they're jumping off sides. So we had, like I said, but it was like Maytag might have been the freeze call in the shotgun. Kenmore might have been the freeze call in the center. Wolf, which is a refrigerator brand, people don't know that, but it is. That might have been a freeze call for jet sweep, off of jet sweep. We were faking the jet sweep, go and trying to get them to jump off sides because of motion. So that's how we use the freeze call. We're always ready, set, go. And we don't use, that's why we don't go, like people ask me how many different snap counts. We don't go ready, set, hut, or, we don't go in 2. It's either ready, set, go, or it's ready, set, go, we don't move. And if they don't jump, we just check a play,
So, Coach, I hate to say it, but sorry to cut this short. The real person
he's up and ready to roll.
When the man's here.
Yep, man says time to shut down.
Sorry, coaches.
No problem.
Thank you so much for being here. Hey, coaches, thank y'all as well. I will put all this stuff. I'll email it and all of that. And Coach, we need to get you back on again and talk some more.
Yeah, anytime, man. I love talking football, man.
All right. And coaches, until next time, let's continue to